Believe, create, empower.
Welcome, Valentina. It's so nice to have you here talking about embracing the state of flow as an entrepreneur and leaning back and not overworking ourselves. Important topic for every entrepreneur and content creator alike. And so if you would like to introduce yourself, what you do, who you are, what your mission is, then we would love to get to know you.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for this opportunity, first of all. And so my name is Valentina, and I worked in finance for almost 10 years. And this summer I took the leap. I realized who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. And I became a meditation teacher, Reiki master, and also recently, and this is where I met you, I did this wonderful coaching course, and now I'm also a mindset coach.
Okay, beautiful. So I want to ask you about our topic for today. Mm-hmm. Do you have any specific anecdote out of your life where you really realize how important it is to actually watch out for ourselves when we do a lot of things and when we are being productive?
Absolutely. So I think was very useful for me university in terms of this topic, because I burned out so many times at uni and I didn't even know it was a burnout, but I was really struggling because I was constantly studying, very different from any other people that have wonderful uni experiences. Here in Italy is all about studying, not much about having fun. Also, I took it too seriously, and I was constantly studying for 5 years. Here in Italy is 3 years plus 2, and my mental health had really bad consequences because of that. So I think that gave me the opportunity to realize that I cannot live the life like this. And then I had a job in an office, which was slightly different in that sense, because you have weekends where you don't have to do anything and you don't feel guilty about it, or when you finish at the end of the day, you know you have done. Now, having my own business, I found it very similar to be a student again, because it's really up to you how you use your time. Even more because there is no, a schedule or anything. It's really up to you what you want to do. There are not exams coming up unless you you decide to have some deadlines. So I think it really reminded me my uni experience, and I really learned now, because I made mistakes in the past, how to deal with my time. And what I noticed also when I was at uni was that the exam that went better were never the one that I studied the most or like really killing myself, were the one that I really enjoyed, first of all, the subject, and also I was also taking time for myself, seeing my friends, going for walks, or even take one day off, and enjoy doing something that I love. So now I'm still work in progress. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I think I try to do the same thing. As soon as I try to push too hard, I notice it because I'm tired. And if I'm tired, especially this kind of jobs where you have to be creative, even to post something on Instagram, you need to know what to write, and it's a kind of creativity. So the best way to be creative, I think, is being in flow more than being forced to do something.
Yeah, 100%. I so agree with you. And It is so cool that you have pointed out the similarities between entrepreneurship and being a student, because here at our channel, we are students and entrepreneurs and creators. So that's absolutely true. Absolutely. And, I think that it's this self-managed thing, and very often we are our hardest critics, and we put so much pressure on ourselves where actually there is not so much pressure to begin with. And so I think that it's very, very, this is what makes our situations very challenging, or at least adds a very specific challenge to it. And, I think that what you said with the creativity is so important too, because, when you are, when your work relies on your state of mind, it can be extremely challenging if you push that boundary too far. And, it's I have experienced this in being a student a lot, but also being an entrepreneur. And I find that there is a little extra challenge for me that I didn't have as a student in that sense. It is the passion and the inner motivation to do these things, because when I was studying, most of the time it was I needed to study because I have to, because I need to pass this exam. And I was kind of forcing myself to do it because I didn't want to fail and disappoint myself, my teachers, and all the other people around me. But now with my project, with my business, it's a totally different situation that I have never had before, for several reasons. The first is this passion that is driving me to do more, do faster, do better than I have ever done before. But also the fact that I'm running my business in English adds the extra challenge of the time zones. And this is not a challenge in reality, because no one expects me to coach at 3 a.m. for me. No one. But myself, it's me, who is oh, I'm not going to stop streaming because some people just join the stream because it's morning for them. Or if someone says they would like to book a discovery call and they suggest a time, for example, 10 p.m. for me, which is, I don't know, maybe noon for them, or 2 p.m. for them in America. I have the feeling that I want to say yes to this, instead of just saying okay, I'm sorry, but this doesn't work for my time zone. Can we find another time? I have this first impulse. I mean, now not anymore, but still I'm working on it. As you said, it's a constant process of adjusting, of finding your own rhythm. But I have this impulse to say yes in the first place because I want to please that person, because I want to take the right decisions for the growth of my project, my mission, my business. And the thing is what we often don't consider is that by choosing this moment of growth, we choose against the long-term growth, because it's not sustainable to work like this. And that's also partly the reason why I disappear from the internet. So thank you guys for welcoming me back on YouTube. I have disappeared for the past few months, I'm going to say it, because my inspiration was gone, because I had too many things to do that I couldn't create YouTube videos anymore, even though I love to do this. And I would love YouTube to be a part of my job as well. But I couldn't, because my ideas were gone. My creativity was paralyzed by tasks, pressure, ideas that I had put on myself. And I have, in the past 2 months, worked a lot on myself. a lot with meditations, hypnosis that I wrote for myself and recorded.
Perfect.
Talk to myself and coach me out of this situation. And I have come to major enlightenments that I will probably share later on. But I would like to know from you, Valentina, from these moments that you have described as a student and also now as a rising entrepreneur and creator, what were the lessons that you were able to learn out of these obstacles?
Yes. Well, I totally understand what you're saying, because I think I burned myself out, as I said, many times in the past, and then you don't have the strength to do anything else. And like you said, I also have some clients with different time zone in America, but not even the East Coast, all the other side, so even more challenging. And you feel you want to say yes because you want to help, you don't want to lose the client, you want to make them happy and everything.
Exactly.
But I think it's all about setting some boundaries for yourself. And this, I wish I knew this when I was a student. Nobody ever told me about boundaries before. And you can do it for relationship, for everything else in your life. And it's very important for your job too. Even if you work in a company, if you are an employee, I think it is really, really important, because you still have someone that tells you what to do. But if you're exhausted, you have to put some boundaries out there. But I think the fear is being perceived as, someone that doesn't want to do things or doesn't want to work. And you have the fear that everyone is passing ahead of you because you say no to certain things. So what I learned, I think, is I was missing self-worth, which is basically realizing that you are worthy of your clients, your money, your business, or whatever, your job, whatever it is, regardless this culture of doing that is all around us, basically. And also how much you love yourself, because you need to understand, especially for a business, you are the business. And if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't love yourself, so you put some boundaries there is no business either, because you are basically everything and the creator. And especially for jobs like ours, if you want to support people in very deep transformations, you have to show up at the best of your energy and your possibilities. And this can happen just if you are well rested and not burn out. Different, of course, if you work in an office, I think you still need to take good breaks and say no when it's necessary. But you still, the job that I was doing, I was pressing button, work on Excel. So it was different kind of job. And you can still do it. So it's even probably more dangerous because you carry on and then completely burn out. I think this job forced me to take breaks, because otherwise I just cannot function. I cannot support other people if I don't have energy for myself,
Yeah, this is so true. And something just came to mind when you were talking. I quickly wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. It's when you said that in university they didn't teach you to have boundaries. And this is such an interesting point that you're making, because I remember that when I was working with students, it became clear to me that positive competition is not a thing in our world. And this is so sad. And when I realized this, it reminded me of our very first anatomy lecture at uni. I will remember this day until the end of my life because it was so crazy. It was our first lecture in med school, and we were sitting there in the lecture room, and the teacher essentially said, look to the right, look to the left. One of these people will not be sitting there anymore next semester. Make sure it's not you. So that's like setting the tone on what is going to happen next, you know? It's like
Oh my God.
This is bad.
It is.
It is bad because it's like, it's everything you don't want to empower young adults to learn and become doctors, you know. Maybe there is some truth to that, but what if more than half the people have good grades? Then they will still be sitting there. And I think that it's so incredibly important to compete is good, but compete in a positive way, in an uplifting way, you know, pull each other up, make, for example, working groups, co-working groups, study groups, if you will, and work together for success together and not success on the expense of someone else who will not be there next semester.
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense. It's not because I am better than, I mean, in some studies it is. In some studies it is. It's like the best 100 get the spot. And so you need to be better than your peers. But ultimately, you just need to be good. You just need to do your best and set boundaries. And it's so incredibly sad that our society doesn't teach, or when I say society, I mean the society, the unis, the schools, the everything doesn't teach you how to compete positively. Or also, what I have been thinking a lot about lately is like what we encourage people for. So, for example, when you are a child, it's a very typical situation. You do some homeworks, you study for an exam, and then you pass the exam, you get a good grade, and then everyone says, "Oh, well done." But no one says well done for the process. And the process is the thing that makes the difference. It's like the process is the part of the equation that you have, that you are able to act on. That's where you have your range of control. That is what you can do better, what you can improve, where you can learn, where you can change things. The outcome in itself is not in that range of control.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, it would be so much better to appreciate doing the thing rather than only appreciate the result. Of course you can appreciate the result too, but like the process is like same level importance, if not more.
Exactly. Exactly, because in the end of the day, the goal of uni is knowing new things and becoming an expert of something. Is not just the best mark you can get. But what you were saying about uni was very true also in finance. So completely different environment, not just a uni, but in the company, because you know the culture there, you know, they try to use you as much as possible, and of course you get the reward if you are the one that overwork more time than, you know, more often than not. And of course people feel that that's the way to live. So if I want to have a career, I need to overwork. They never say, oh, good job in taking breaks when you know that you need it. Good job because you've been kind with other people and you help them when they needed it, you know. Those are not qualities, even if I work in very good companies, I must say, but so it wasn't terrible, but I know it's still there, the culture where the more you do, the better it is for them. It's not about how much you can take care of yourself. And, so it definitely doesn't help. And in terms of competition, I suffered a lot for that, and definitely I started to compete as well at some point, because I thought that was the way to survive. But then now I think, after a bit of life experience, the only competition that I accept is really the one with myself. I want to be the best version of myself every year that passed by. So I want to beat the previous version of me. And I think people need to understand there is no reason to compete, because we are all so unique. Yeah. Even in a company doing the same job, in the same team, we all bring different things, and it cannot be, rewarded just the one that seems more productive, because there are many other things that also other people can do.
Yeah, this is such a true thing, what you're saying. And it's funny because often we compete with people over things we don't even exactly can tell what exactly we are competing over. And that's this, I'm sorry if that sounds confusing, and I hope that you can follow me on this one. But sure. I promise I have a point. So the thing is, let me find an example. Yeah, for example, a student is saying, I want to study more, or I want to study more than my friends because I want to be better than them. What exactly does that mean? Is it studying more time? Is it studying more subjects, more chapters? Is it studying more focused, more efficiently? Is it studying more, and in the sense of studying more days? And it's impossible to know that you study more than someone else because you don't know how much they study. And this is just an example, but it goes with everything. Also with entrepreneurship, if you're competing with another creator and you say, I want to create the same videos like this person, but I want to be a little bit more creative with it. It's there often is no measurement for things. And then of course it gets more and more difficult to meet these standards if the standards are not clearly defined. And the idea is just running after more something. We don't even know what something is. So I hope that this makes sense. But this is the best way to overwork and burn yourself out, because you compare your work to something that you don't exactly know what it is. And also it's impossible to know what other people are really doing and how they work, because you see the perfect Instagram feed, or you see the student in the break that tells you, I've pulled an all-nighter and I've worked so much, and maybe they ended up playing on the Xbox half of the night, and then they studied a little bit, and then it was an all-nighter. Yes, but everything is possible. And it's so important to, as you said, compete with yourself, because that is the only measurement that you know and that you can compare to, really. And that is comparable because you are unique, so you cannot compare tomatoes and pears,
Exactly. So, yeah. And also, as I am a proof of myself, that more work doesn't necessarily need to mean that is better result. In my case at uni, if I was really burning myself out for an exam, it wasn't the exam where I was getting the best mark, for sure. So definitely not a good thing for me. And also, as I was saying, I think we are so different than everyone else. Talking about or thinking about, human design, we all have different energies, and we all operate in different ways. I am personally a generator, so I could work forever. So it's even dangerous because you need to stop. But you also know that you have infinite, let's say, energy when you work, as you were saying before, for something that you are passionate about. There you can also understand when you can push yourself a bit further, or when you feel, in my case, if something that really doesn't fulfill me and I push through, I'm gonna be hurt for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I just quickly want to explain human design in just a few sentences for those who don't know what this is. Essentially, it's like a pseudoscience that is, in a way, the idea is similar to astrology, except like there are like 4 human designs, so categories that people would fall into. So there's like the manifestor, the manifesting generator, the projector, and the reflector. And in these categories, there are like still like thousands of things that can change from one person to another. Like it's I would say even more complex than astrology, because it takes astrology, it's incorporated into human design, and then you have like an entire map of who you are as a person and how you are functioning. And so essentially, that can help you to gain self-insight and to learn how to navigate your strength, your weaknesses, and all these kind of things. So if you're interested, you can check that out online. I'm not going to say more about this. Maybe we should do like also an interview about human design, because I think it's like super interesting. I honestly don't know if I believe in it like 100%, but I just recognize myself so much more in my human design chart than in my astrology chart, that it's actually a little bit interesting and creepy at once. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. You need to form your own opinion about this. But definitely look into it, because it's just for the sake of interest and curiosity, you know. So what were we talking about? Oh yes, I remember. So, you know, your individuality.
Yeah, definitely.
that is what I wanted to actually talk about, because you have pointed it out, how beautiful it is that we're all so unique, and how important it is to embrace our uniqueness. And I think that, you know, embracing your uniqueness is also definitely a way to lean into your own schedule, set boundaries, because I feel like the more you know yourself, the more you know how you can use what you have, how you can leverage your resources. Maybe you will even find an unfair advantage. If you haven't read that book, then go check it out, because it's really, really good. And yeah, you can definitely use this self-insight to navigate towards more efficiency, in a sense that it's not more efficient, but it's your efficiency.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think knowing yourself and how you operate, I think is key for everything, even to understand what kind of job you can do or what kind of life you want to lead. Yeah, probably that's the key of everything. And even if you don't know your human design, you're not into astrology, I think you can still lean into your own intuition and know what you like, what are your skills, what you're passionate about. And if you follow these things and know when to say no, I think you're gonna be, you know, successful without this culture of keep doing, because you're also more confident that you know you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just need to do what you came here to do. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so true. Do you have any specific practices that you do daily or on a regular basis, like not necessarily daily, but like regularly, to support you and not losing sight of yourself?
So many. But I think to start, and what I start with was really meditation. It is very useful. A little practice, like 10 minutes per day. I always found, even when I started, that 10 minutes per day was enough. And at the beginning, when I started, I didn't even know what meditation was. My friend suggested me to try because it was feeling better, it was focusing better. And so I was curious and I tried. And it was amazing for me. I managed to detach from my thoughts and my emotions. I still feel them, but I don't react. I wait and respond before taking a decision. And in this way, I think I can make better choices for myself. And meditation helps with so many things, even in terms of creativity, sitting down every morning 10 minutes and ask what I should talk about today, or what should I do today. And just, these moments of stillness are fundamental, I think, in any jobs, in any career, I think, but especially if you do this kind of jobs where, is all about what you want to create.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I would suggest that for everyone that doesn't know where to start, and then you will see little by little. It takes practice, it takes a bit of time, so don't give up if you cannot do it straight away. But it's definitely, it was my first tool that I used as a self-help, let's say, and self-development, and it's still with me every day. Is fundamental for me.
Yeah, this is so important what you're saying, and I'm not gonna lie, I have struggled with this so much. I definitely saw the benefits of meditation on myself, but practicing it on a regular basis is something that I found very, very difficult to do. And so I have kind of adjusted it. I know that meditation people are going to just slap their hands on their forehead when they're going to hear what I'm saying. But I have found that I really, if it's really a day where I can already feel that it's not going to work out, that I sit down and close my eyes and meditate, which, by the way, is probably the day I need meditation the most. But that being said, I have found that for me, walking while kind of meditating is helping so much. And I have also, like, when I walk my dog, I often listen to my own meditations, or I really love creating my own meditations. I most of the time listen to myself, guiding myself to meditate while walking. But also there are some other things that I do while meditating. For example, I really enjoy drawing intuitively while meditating. I have no idea what it is, but it just helps me to enter this state so much faster. If I have like one of these days where I just have millions of thoughts in my head, stillness, like silence, or sitting down, closing my eyes is just bringing me back to these thoughts. Whereas if, for example, I'm doodling, like I take a piece of paper, a pen, and I just switch on my meditation and I draw some abstract things that I then color and it doesn't make any sense, but somehow I am able to completely leave aside my thoughts when I meditate like that. And I have never had any drawing guided meditation except the one that I have created for myself. I have not shared this anywhere because I have the feeling that it's very freaky. but it's kind of cool, you know.
Absolutely. But this is again, what we were talking about. We are all so different, and meditating is not just about sitting down with crossed legs for 10 minutes with your eyes shut. You can do it while you're walking. You can do it while you're drawing. You can do it while you're doing a sculpture or something. Even yoga, you focus on your body. There are so many ways that you can meditate, and it's good to find the right one for yourself. But is that those moments of stillness where you don't think about, you don't have constant thoughts coming in and out, and you feel overwhelmed? But that's the point. Yeah, perfect that you found your way of meditating.
Yeah, I actually meditate several times a day, because like I don't know if it's really meditating, because often I get ready while listening to meditations to you, because I don't know, I think it's very soothing, and also it slows me down, which is very enjoyable, because like usually my typical morning was my alarm clock rings 15 minutes before I need to leave the house. And when it rings, I jump out of bed, I grab a t-shirt, I create this, and I run out of the front door without a single molecule of makeup on my face, because whatever, I would prefer sleeping half an hour longer than looking cute, So,
I totally get that.
Yeah. And, like on the way to uni, I would then get out the sand off my eyes, and that would be like my typical morning. But the thing is, like, that's not a good start for a creative day. So I quickly realized I needed to make a change, and meditating while getting ready very slowly and really being present. Like it's almost like a weird ritual. Like I wake up, I switch on my meditation, and then full of gratitude, I press the button of the coffee machine, and then very slowly I get ready, I get dressed, and I don't think about anything in that moment. And this is my perfect morning. I meditate while getting ready. It's like...
it's amazing, because I meditate when I drink my coffee, for example. All the preparation, just preparing the coffee, the smell and taste it and touch the mug and feel how hot or cold it is, or whatever it is. If you focus just on that in the moment that you do it, that's already meditation. Mindful eating as well is the same, really looking at the food that you're eating, smelling it and tasting it, focusing on that while you do it. It is meditation. And it's not that I want to be in that state probably all the time, but when I do it, it's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, like, I've been doing this for a month, I would say, but that's like a month ago is when I started my recovery of my huge overwork stress situation. I think that was the latest one was the worst one for me, because it had such a high personal value to it. Like at uni, I was like overworking for something else, like it was, of course, like I wanted to have my degree, but it was not something that I was like so incredibly passionate about with every single cell of my body. And between September and November, like end of November, when I fell asleep for 2 weeks, I was working every single day. I would get really, really annoyed if on one day I could not work because we were going hiking or something. So it was like to this point, I was like, no, or then I went hiking because like my absolutely loving boyfriend thought that it would be good if I would lift my ass off this chair for just a second. Thank you to that, by the way. Thank you so much, because I really needed it. But all I could think about was how I would rather work than walk here and how waste of a time that is to spend all the day just doing nothing for my business, you know. And this sucks because, you know, it's like I am a doctor and I am a coach and I should fucking know what health is, you know, and I do. The thing is, like, I need to start doing it too, even if I'm super passionate about, even if this is what I really want to do, even if I have 1,000 ideas, I have time to put all this into place. The most important thing is that I don't fall asleep for 2 weeks and get sick because I'm tired AF, you know. So
sometimes you need to go through these things to learn exactly how to do it. A good thing that helped me in this is, for example, I'm really good with goal settings. I prefer it like that. Not everyone is the same again, but to me, like, know that today I want to work 4 or 5 hours because I know that with that amount of time, I'm not going to burn out, I'm not going to go crazy. And those are the tasks that I'm going to do. And then whatever I cannot manage to do, usually I don't choose an excessive amount of things. And whatever I cannot do this day, I know there is another day tomorrow to do, and nothing is going to happen if I do it the following day. But, you know, try to be strict, I think, with yourself and setting those amount of hours that, you know, are not too much for you. But I totally understand what you said because, again, this is more a uni, but I was never stopping 7 days per week, morning, evenings, whatever. It didn't make any difference. And, you know, when then you take a break, the following day, you realize how much more energy you have, much more creativity and everything. So, you know, that it's worth taking a break. But
absolutely. I've been through an epiphany in the past 2 months, honestly. I have had an incredibly profound shift. And because, you know, like I was working a lot, and at the end, everything was going super well for me. Like I had new clients coming in. I had a very beautiful business opportunity that I still have, by the way. So it's not like I lost it. It's like also the clients. So I have, but and I was just, things were starting to move in the right direction, and so I didn't want to stop. And then I got extremely sick. I have never had anything like this before because it was such a strange sickness. Like I didn't have any fever, I didn't have any bodily visible symptoms at all. The only thing I had is that I was extremely tired. So even sitting straight at a table for dinner for more than 30 minutes was so exhausting. I was like, I can't hold myself in an upright position anymore. I need to lie down. And I had such incredible muscle pain, like in my entire body. So yeah, I don't have a neurodegenerative muscle disease. And so therefore, I think that it was just my mind that said, dude, I'm going to make you physically sick because that's the only way I find right now for you to stop what the madness that you're doing. And so thanks God, my mind pulled the emergency brake because I spent 2 weeks sleeping and then I slowly recovered. And I don't know, I just had this, it just came to me, this realization that I had felt like I was running after something, chasing the possibility to create my dream business, chasing the possibility to help more people, chasing the possibility to make everything great and happen fast and perfectly. And I really felt like I was running after something that I could never catch somehow. And the thing is, like, this creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of overwork, and a lot of like scarcity and lack in your life, because you're just running after something. And I have realized that now in 2022, I would like to approach my business growing journey almost like a mother energy, which is very weird that this came to me because I am like so not ready to be a mother. But like, I just felt like that is how I want to lead my business. You know, I want to love it. I want to love the clients. I mean, of course, like, you know, share with love from a genuine place of love. I want to nurture my business, and I want to let it grow at its own pace. You know, it's like you don't take your child and you're just pulling it. Like, okay, come on, grow up. You're going to be 15 now. Go. You know, it's like you put in this love, this care, you provide food, education, you provide time and everything, and you know that your child is going to grow, because that's like the work of the cells, like they just do, and somehow it happens. And I feel like I have no idea if I'm going on a big tangent here, but you know, I feel like this is how I want to approach my business in this coming year, from this kind of perspective. And so I have created also a workshop around this topic, because I feel like maybe that's something that is worth of being shared with other entrepreneurs. So I have like, it's not launched at the moment that we're recording this, but maybe it will be launched by the moment where I post this video, in which case I will put it down in the description. But yeah, it's going to be a workshop, like a one-time masterclass about exactly this topic of how to set goals and accomplish them with this mindset of nurturing care, essentially, and not the mindset of running around like a crazy chicken, because that's how I felt, you know. And so also there will be like a powerful mental training tool inside of this workshop that's going to be like a module, like from an online course, but just one module, with a mental training technique that is going to help you to spark creativity and also organize these ideas into systems and plans, and then double checking the plan, whether it's a good one or not, like using critical thinking. Because I think this goes well together, you know, like you have like a tool to organize your ideas and spark creativity and reduce overwhelm, because like that helps a lot. And then like the mindset shift with a meditation and a 1.5 hour long workshop live, with hopefully a beautiful group of entrepreneurs. So yeah, that's what I'm preparing, and it's been so much fun preparing this. I'm taking the time that it takes to get it ready, and I don't feel any pressure. I just feel so grateful that I get to work on this, that I get to create this for people, for me, for everyone. And honestly, like I've launched a course before, like the Empowered Student course. I was pulling out my hair, you know, because I was like, this needs to be ready at that time. It needs to be perfect. And what if no one wants to sign up for this course? Then what do I do? How can I make this work? And what if people sign up and they think it's shit, you know, like there are so many things going on. And here it's like, I don't even ask myself these questions anymore. I'm like, I'm creating this because this has, honestly, it has changed my life. It sounds like super cheesy, but I don't know. I had this realization one day. I took the decision to do it. And like 2 months ago, I would not have been able to imagine that I would sit here today creating this product and feeling so different about this entire thing. And so I know that I need to share this, and I know that it's a good idea to do that. And so that's okay for me. And, you know, I'm just nurturing my ideas and giving and serving. And I know that this is enough and that this is exactly what I need to be doing.
Sounds great. I would just add to that is not just love your business, but I think you have to remember to love yourself first and taking care of yourself, not just of your business. Otherwise, especially if he becomes dependent on you, you will have to feel again that you have to be there all the time.
Yeah, this is such a beautiful reminder. Do you have like any favorite self-love practices that you incorporate into your routines?
Yes, so many. But I think again, meditation for me was Reiki, energy self treatment. That's also a good one that I try to do once a day, plus meditating. And I'm also creating a course about meditation because, as we were talking about before, we are so different and there are so many different kinds of meditation that I want to put, I want to bring some clarity on the subject. And, some people have so many doubts. Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? What's the goal of everything in the end? So I'll try to bring some clarity on the whole subject and give many options that people can do it.
Yeah, I love that. If you ever need like some insider knowledge about how to draw and meditate, then hit me up. I'll tell you everything about it. No, I'm just kidding. So this meditation course that you're creating, is it going to be like an online course? Do you envision an online course, or is it like going to be like a coaching program or hybrid format thing?
It will be an online course, and in my mind also we will meet. I think the length will be 1 month, 1.5 months, and maybe we can meet a couple of times to do something live, which is always fun. But the rest, it will be, at your own pace and watching videos and just with some exercise to do at home.
Yeah, this is so cool. This is so cool. I absolutely can't wait to see your course launch and also to
Same for yours.
I can't wait. I definitely I definitely need to look into your meditation course because this is such an interesting and powerful tool, honestly. Like, it's like, at first when I heard about it, I was like, yeah, nah, come on. It's like just sitting in a room. What can it do? And this is life-changing, really. And so many things in the coaching sphere are so powerful. It goes beyond imagination. Like for me, at least it was like this, like even when I was enrolled in Yes Supply, I was training to become a certified coach in all these modalities. And I didn't realize how profound the changes you can create with this can be. And as a matter of fact, I had many client experiences too, where the clients themselves told me like they went into the coaching program or coaching sessions and they were like, yeah, we're going to talk a bit, set goals and do things. And after the coaching session or coaching program, they were like, well, holy mother, what just happened? I mean, I never thought that I could shift my entire identity, mindset, beliefs, fears, bad habits, bad patterns, old emotion residuals in such a short time and in such a powerful way, and have such an incredible impact on the well-being itself as well. I mean, like I have one video testimonial on my Instagram, and this wonderful client also said that never ever they expected to see such a shift. And this is something that I hear so often, and also kind of a mission as a coach for entrepreneurs and creators, and also for healers in a way. I really want to shed light on how powerful coaching can be, because so many people have no idea that this exists, that this is possible for them, for anyone, and how incredible and how valuable these changes can be, because they can change your life in weeks. And
absolutely,
yeah, so definitely that's a mission.
Well, I was lucky enough that I've been coached by you as well through our supply course. Yeah, and the tools that they taught us there were super amazing and powerful. And I'm gonna watch that testimonial as well that you have on your Instagram to see. No, it's definitely I'm sure you will do amazing in your coaching business, and it's very important not just to coach but also spread knowledge about all these different tools and techniques that nobody ever told us before, and people might be scared or afraid but they are so powerful and life-changing, and it has to be in our mission as well to just spread the knowledge and the word around.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Valentina. Is there anything that you would like to say or add for the end of our conversation?
I think I said everything I wanted, and I want to thank you for this opportunity, and good luck for your launch. I'm sure it's going to be super successful and amazing, and you will help so many people like you helped me as well.
I will. I'm really looking forward to the launch too. It's so exciting. And one last question, I will ask you where people can find you. I will also link your socials in the description. On which platforms are you?
Thank you. So at the moment, I am mainly on Instagram under Soul Vale. And I have an email address, which is hello@soul.vale.com. And then, I will build a website also very soon that I will link to my Instagram so people can find it there.
Perfect. Then I'll put all this information here for people to find. So if they want to contact you, check out your meditation course, get some Reiki healing or some amazing coaching, because I know what an amazing coach you are, then they can directly reach out to you. Thank you so much for being a guest on this channel, for helping me to come back to YouTube.
Thank you for your time and all your great ideas.
Believe